Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the speech delivered by Dr. CHO AYABA, the President of the Ambazonia Governing Council at the 2021 retreat, organized by the Coalition for Dialogue and Negotiations in Toronto, Canada.
Voila. Thank you for joining, and the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, the leadership of the CDN. Good afternoon to the leadership of Amazonia and to all the diplomats, stakeholders, and interested parties. My apologies that I couldn't be with you because of my national security could not give clearance, a lot of threats. But also I thought I could make a more formal address, but I've not been quite well. But I thought it will be a matter of courtesy and respect to all those assembled to say hello and to thank you all for coming together to discuss the issues that concerns Amazonia and the ongoing genocide being perpetrated by Cameroon. I will just say a few words to our people who are assembled in here. I know we are hurting. I know there are divisions in terms of approaches, but I'm grateful that, despite the nuances, despite the perceived divisions, we continue in our various niches to articulate the case for our country and for our people. And I encourage all of you to be concrete in aspects of collaboration. In the past 4 years, we have been very rhetorical on the issue of collaboration. The Vice President of the AGOVC has with him different models that we can use to work together. We have looked at the Tony Blair Gordon Brown model of alternative leadership. We've looked at the UN model, I think that was adopted by Eritrea. We have looked at what they call parliamentary model, which is very difficult to articulate in liberation struggle because you will not be able to determine majoritarian rule. But it is important that when we talk about collaboration, leadership must be able to make concrete and tangible proposals and give away something. And the Amazonian Governing Council has proposed to different leaders a model of at least shared leadership or alternate leadership that will bring our people together. That is how concrete we can be. To our defense forces, and I address these, I know the 7 Kata and other forces are there. It is very important we understand that the strategy in the defense of our homeland requires that we find some ways of collaborating in terms of logistics, intelligence, and other issues, and to be able to work together to provide security for our people. That's the reason why we fight. And I think there are also models which we have proposed that can bring our forces together to be more impactful. Now, to the international community, we thank you for coming, but we think you have not really done your utmost. I've listened to Mr. Fox of the Foreign Ministry of Switzerland. I've had extensive discussions with Mr. Bechle, and I'm very grateful for Mr. Bechle's openness and candor in these discussions. The problem is not Amazonia. The Amazonian people, the Amazonian leadership are committed to a negotiated settlement. We have proposed concrete models that have been used in different places, whether Northern Ireland, whether in Eritrea, whether in South Sudan, that brings credibility to the process and that is sustainable. And we have been prepared even at what they call classified exchanges that can begin to address some issues. Though there are weaknesses at the level of the international community, the problem is Cameroon's lack of commitment, because we are dealing with a regime that has believed in the use of disproportionate violence for the past 60 years, not only against our people, but against its own people, for the preservation of power. And it has never faced consequences for different massacres, using torture as a weapon of political discussion and excessive violence against its own people and our people. There has never been consequences. And Mr. Biya understands the weaknesses of the international community and has always played for time, hoping they can defeat opposition through bribery, corruption, and killings. And we have urged through private discussions the international community to look at different approaches it employed in different conflicts to bring pressure to bear, not only on the actors that are perpetuating the war against our people, but on the state of Cameroon. It is also important, and we have made concrete proposals, that they change their approach in dealing with us. I heard Mr. Fox referred to the Anglophones. We aren't. The day you alter the way you refer to a conflict party that has assigned a description on itself, it will not only send a message to Cameroon that we are serious, but it will begin to bring confidence in the process itself. We have made concrete proposals on how you can change the perception of Cameroon. Dealing with us in the background serves Cameroon, because they still believe they are the only actor that can be dealt with at the international system. And I've had these concrete discussions with Mr. Bechley and other diplomats that we have met. We are open. We understand, as you've said, there are a lot of social media antics. This is a war fought in the full glare of the social media. To make a difference between facts and fiction is quite difficult. But private discussions will give you a clear picture of where we stand, who we are, and what we want. This conflict is going to end with justice, not peace. Justice for us is represented in a majoritarian position, not expressed by opinion, but scientific surveys carried out by credible institutions that the Amazonian people want independence. Justice for us is expressed by denialism, attempt at dispossession of the Amazonian people of their land, denial by Cameroon to even, for the past 40 years, compromise on issues of alternating, the structure of the state, denying to even decentralize power in a way we can even elect mayors. That's the system you're dealing with. You are not dealing with some democratic understanding system that is going to blink. Biya has never blinked. He is not going to blink. And for us, you have failed us not only in making sure that you can invoke the responsibility to protect, to ensure the protection of our civilian population. You have failed us. We have applied for unilateral adherence to the spirit of the Geneva Convention, which will transform our prisoners to prisoners of war and deny Cameroon the possibility of using its domestic law to prosecute our prisoners, stop it from parading murdered commanders on the street as though we're living, 200 years ago. And we think with our hard stance on Cameroon, we aren't going anywhere. And we will not blink on the issue of self-defense in the protection of our territorial integrity, the lives of our people, our own dignity, and for our self-preservation. I make this promise to you. We will fight Cameroon to the logical end to defend our land, and we will end with independence. And that is not to say we are warmongering. We are not some extreme nationalists who believe in war. All the leaders of this struggle benefit nothing for the prolongation of this war. We pay our flights, we feed our families. We are not controlling some diamond mines where we reap from these diamond mines and we will enjoy the prolongation of this war. We want it to end so that we stop being nomads. But it must end with justice for our people, independence for Amazonia. I pray for all of you to return home safely, and I hope my team will engage in private consultations with all the stakeholders involved, and that the CDN can offer its services to facilitate discussions amongst us to mitigate differences, give hope to our people, assure the international community that we are not trying to recreate an unstable post-independence state, but that we are trying to build a space where international transactions is going to continue, that we are going to ensure that the movement of people is not going to challenge international security, and that will be a respectable member of the international system. It's a promise we give to you. It's one you've not gotten in the past 60 years from Cameroon. If you had a choice between Amazonia and Cameroon on the issue of the international system stability transaction, it will be Amazonia. God bless you.